Hey guys, this is Corbin Hosler here with Brainstorm Brewery, and I'm talking to Aaron Forsythe today here in the feature match area at the World Magic Cup. So Aaron, the first thing I'm sure people want to know about, how's Gen Con going? How's the cup going?
It's going great. It's cool that we got to bring in people from 71 different countries to Gen Con to see what it's like. I had talk to a guy from Malaysia who said he's never seen anything like this before, never seen a convention this size before, and they get to see Magic played. There's vintage, legacy, everything. The whole array of everything is here, plus tons of other games and activities. So it's cool to be able to show kind of America's premier gaming tourney to the world. At the same time, we get to show the Gen Con crowd just how awesome and global Magic has become.
Yeah, and that's what's awesome, being here with all the flags here and representing all the countries. Bringing the two crowds together. How's the cup been going? How's it been running? It's been
great. It's kind of it's a new tournament. We haven't had it before. It's kind of complicated, the way the pairings and the pods and stuff we've never done before. But the players are having a great time. There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of great stories of smaller countries that you might not have expected to do well, like Uruguay sticks out, and Puerto Rico that are making it to the top 16. And it's just great for them. I'm sure back home with our webcast and stuff, those players are having a great time rooting for their country. So it's done. We wanted this thing to highlight some of the other countries. We do a lot in Japan. We do a lot in the United States, France, and a lot of the big Magic countries. We don't get to show off some of these other countries. Magic is played all over the place, and this does a great job of letting us highlight that.
Talk a little bit about the expanded video coverage. That's been around for a couple big events now. I'm sure you guys have seen some feedback now that you're a couple months into it. How successful has that been? How big for the game has that expanded coverage been?
I mean, it's been tremendous. I think between the coverage we had every weekend, we have either a Grand Prix, it feels like, or a big event like this one, and then with Magic Online, people are starting to stream their own stuff. So we're just getting the video is becoming so powerful for Magic in a lot of different ways, and we just got a lot of comments like, I didn't even know what it was, and I saw it on Twitch TV, and now I was interested, so I started playing, or I used to play and I didn't even realize it was still going, and I saw it there. And this is the exposure we get, and the fact that we can bring this kind of stuff in great detail to the home crowd is, it's been a huge deal. People caring about what happens at the Pro Tour, or caring about these players.
And I guess part of that expanded coverage and getting more people back into it, it's got to be good for the game. So for people just wanting to know, how is the game doing? How is Magic doing now compared to where you're at a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago?
We've been on this amazing trajectory since Shards of Alara till now. It has been just a straight ramp. More players, more booster packs being sold, more stores open, just everything's just up. There's a combination of, I think we did some great things with Magic 2010 and Zendikar. Kind of, we simplified the baseline of Magic. We still kept the complexity and the robustness and the complex metagame for the enfranchised players. We invested in stores very heavily. We put PTQs in stores, we put pre-releases in stores. We really tried to help the store owner make Magic special and give players a place to go and play. And then, our digital stuff, the duels of the Planeswalkers, being just like letting people learn at their own pace. They want to get into Magic, but like showing up not knowing anything is very intimidating. But you can learn the rules at home now, and then you can go to FNM or whatever, ready to jump right in. And that's been knocking down that barrier to entry has been huge for Magic, and I've heard a lot of that. Just like, I was too scared to play, but once I learned on duels, then I could go play in the store or go to a Grand Prix or whatever, so that's been awesome.
Yeah, and the thing that impressed me about duels, I've played Magic for a long time, and I just got a PlayStation, so I was like, I guess I'll see what Duels of Planeswalkers is about. And, even as a player who's played and, is definitely not new to the game, it's still a lot of fun.
It's still fun to just do that, like, beat up with the computer over and over again.
So one of the other things that's been really popular has been the Cube. The Cube on Magic Online. Players are really getting into it. What support, I guess, for people who don't play Magic Online or want to do more cubing in real life? Is there anything like that coming? Is there any way you guys are able to grow that from your perspective?
That's been a tough nut for us to crack, like a product that would simulate Cube. We're obviously running Cube as one of the formats of the Players Championship coming up in a couple weeks, so we're willing to focus on it. It's a cool way that people like to play, kind of build your own draft environment out of either the most powerful cards you can find, or people do commons and uncommons and stuff like that. But I mean, a lot of cubes are the culmination of a decade of getting cards,
right?
You know, and it's not necessarily a good thing for us to be able to shortcut all of that in one quick, easy thing. Because I mean, a lot of people put it, not only is it kind of defeats the model of booster packs to some degree, but it's people put a lot of effort into this.
Right.
You know,
right.
if we just put it off the shelf, I think that'd be a turn off for a lot of people. We really think about Cube when putting together stuff like From the Vault,
right,
or even dual decks, and some of these other products like cards people would like to have but are a little hard to find nowadays. We keep talking about, is there a way to make a boxed product that simulates a cube? We haven't quite solved it yet, but I mean, every year when we're talking about what's the new Plane Chaser, what's the new arch enemy, cube is always on the list, and you know, until we find a way to do it, we're going to keep working on it. But it is definitely something we think about a lot. And
it's been really popular on Magic Online, right?
Yeah. I believe we're coming out with special tickets that you can use just for Cube, because it's a tough equation for us to figure out the prize balance and what are you supposed to get and win, and what's more important than just playing it or the prizes or whatever else. So we're iterating that every time we put it out. But yeah, that's been a huge success.
Yeah. And another success, off-the-shelf product has been Commander.
Yeah.
And there was such a big demand for it after the original printing. You guys have decided to bring it back. So just tell me a little bit about what the reasoning there is. How popular it's been and what you guys want to do in the future to continue to grow it.
When we first came out with it, we figured we'd have some kind of maybe 3-year rotation. We do Plane Chase, then we do Commander, and something different in the years in between. But it was so popular, and we talked about, is there design space? Is there enough for us to, can we make enough new cards every year that we think would be interesting in this format, or is that something that we have to preserve? And we said we could do it. Like, we can make new legends, new multiplayer friendly spells that are really hard to put into a normal set. Right. So we figured, okay, we could do it if we wanted to. So we wanted to annualize that. We figured every year we can come out with some number of new Commander decks, because the format has just gone through the roof.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's huge, and it's great that it's a community-created thing. And we're still letting them run the BNR list. And we just want to help support it and grow it.
Right.
So we figured the earliest we could get it on the schedule every year was 2013 would be the next one that's coming out at the end of 2013. So in the meantime, we kind of whipped together this collector's box called Commander's Arsenal that we added at the end of this year that kind of tied people over until we get the next decks ready.
Right, just get something in their hands.
Right, just keep Commander front of mind for store owners and players.
And from what I've seen, everyone you talk to, everyone you ask about it, is really excited for it. The one complaint, the one thing people are somewhat concerned about is the price point on it of $75.
The Arsenal?
Yeah, you have the more serious Commander players, I guess is the way to put it, who really like those cards, that like to spend a lot of money on their decks. It also appeals to people who you just have commons and uncommons, who don't play Standard because they can't afford it, and they get into Commander. And some of those people, have a question.
It is definitely a luxury purchase. It is going to be, printed in short supply. We're okay doing that, I think, with this and stuff like From the Vault, where we make just we don't meet demand necessarily. You want to keep it collectible because it's all reprints. You don't need to buy this to get access to stuff. The stuff's already all out there in some way. You get a cool foil Sylvan Library with the art from the Magic Online Cube. That version's never existed before, but you can get a 4th edition Sylvan Library if you just want to have one in your deck. So it is just kind of like a luxury item, and we don't know. We've never made anything this expensive, so we don't know. We just want to test it out. Like I've seen, video games will put out the World of Warcraft MMO box set with all sorts of special stuff in it. And there's way more than you need to pay to get that game normally. And we've never tried anything like that necessarily. So we want to see what the reaction is. Knowing that you don't have to buy it, but are there enough people that want that kind of luxury thing? So.
And I think it's good, like you said, that it doesn't put any new cards in there. So
I know there would be an uproar if there's 2 cards you can't get anywhere else in here. No, we don't want to do that to people, right? We don't want to say, if you want this one card, the only way to get it is to give us $75. The way we make cards now works just great. Everything's relatively accessible. So we want to keep with that. But we do want to be able to say, if you're the guy who wants to invest more in your Commander deck, or the guy who just wants to go the whole 9,
exactly,
and have the most pimped version of everything, probably will make a product for you.
Right.
But that's mostly that's for.
And you're looking at, you said next year you're coming out with Commander decks more like the original Commander product. So
20, yeah,
right.
End of next year.
So it's kind of the very, people can get the really nice foiled cards if they want those, but there'll also be the less expensive decks for the rest of the crowd.
Right. Yep.
Okay, great. Let's talk just a little bit about Ravnica. And Ravnica was enormously popular when it first came out, and people were very excited for it coming back out. What spurred the decision there? You guys returned to Mirrodin, and was did you wait to see how the success of that was before you pushed ahead with Ravnica, or was it already in the works?
I mean, it was already penciled in. It's tough coming up with a new world every single year.
Right.
And some people say that's our job, we should do that, but at the same time, there's so much investment and love for stuff we've done before, and it feels like a waste to just say, well, sorry, but we're not going to ever go back there again.
Right.
We're going to go somewhere else. So we made Alara kind of as a different multicolored world. But even and that did well for us, but even after we did that, people were like, I wish you would do Ravnica again. I wish you would do Ravnica again. So, I mean, a lot of it was just born out of players told us they loved it. So obviously, it just be silly for us to say, well, too bad, we already did Ravnica.
Right.
So, and it's robust. There's a ton of different space we haven't explored yet. So I think, I don't know, once every 3-ish years probably we'll try to revisit a very popular, likable place from Magic's past, but we'll still be coming up with cool new worlds like Innistrad and whatever else in the years in between.
Yeah, I know.
Trying to find that mix.
I know I'm interested to do Ravnica because I wasn't playing when it first came out, so I'm looking forward to
I believe it's like taking on a life of its own.
Yeah,
like it's talked about in hushed tones by people. Oh, Ravnica.
Yeah, exactly. Even before Return to Ravnica was announced, people always talk about, oh, my favorite draft format was Ravnica. That set was awesome.
Right.
So it was even before we knew this was coming out. I developed a fondness for it. So I'm looking forward to it.
So yeah, I know people remember Ravnica draft really fondly. I will say we've changed some stuff. So you're not going to just be able to step in and apply everything you remember from the first one. It's a very good limited format. It's put together by Eric Lauer, the same guy who put together Innistrad Limited. So it's super cool. A lot going on, but it's not just going to be, oh, I remember what I'm supposed to pick here. It's different. Like there's a lot of different stuff going on. So I will warn you ahead of time. It's going to take a whole new set of processing and iteration to figure out how this draft format's going to work out.
Right. All right. So one last question. Yourself at Gen Con, have you been busy with Magic stuff, or you got to explore and check out some other things?
I've walked around, looked at some stuff. I've got some kids that I want to get some games for back home, so I've been looking at some stuff, the family-style games, and looking at that. I've played some other games, but mostly once the World Cup started, I have been laser-focused on watching this thing come together. This has been a long time coming, this tournament. I'm super excited about it. Having been on the U.S. team myself, and I know what it feels like to represent your country and being able to have this to this degree, especially with the video that we're doing and bringing it to the whole world. Right. Super awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, it seems like it's been a great success. So, guys, thanks for listening. This is Forsythe. I'm Corbin Hosler. Thanks.